Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first session of today. How did everyone enjoy yesterday? Yeah, great. I think the presentations were outstanding and all the extracurricular events have just been fantastic. The show floor has been so packed and I love seeing all the commerce that's happening. First thing off this morning, we're doing our general membership meeting, and now I'll give it away to your president, Tracy Dunning-Kane.
Good morning. Can you hear me? All right. I would like to take the first minute here to introduce the incoming slate for 2025-2027 for the Executive Committee. We have Mike Bradle will be the new president, Matt Morgan, Vice President-elect, Tom Brewer, Vice President, Frank Fritsch, Treasurer, Stephanie Bayard will be Secretary. Michael Palladino will be returning as Member at Large. Chris Moody will be Board Representative, along with Roger Jeton, and I will be the immediate past President. Now I'd like to pass it over to Mike Bradle to talk about our strategic plan.
Okay, good morning. So for those of you that aren't aware, our association strategic plan expires at the end of this calendar year. So in preparation for that, the EC, along with the staff, has been preparing all year, and we've developed a new 3-year strategic plan. There's copies eventually, or there's copies of these, should be on your table. There you go. We will also be releasing the whole plan to the members probably sometime in the next couple weeks. So what we did differently on this plan is that our previous plan, and a lot of the plans that I've worked on in the past, have been lengthy. We decided that we were going to make an active 3-year plan. And so our new strategic plan is going to go from 2025 to 2027. And in looking at it, what we came up with is what we want it to look like in 3 years. So a snapshot of when we're sitting here in 3 years, what we want to be able to see, what boxes we want to be able to check off. So I'm going to just review this sheet very quickly. It outlines our mission, our vision, our values, and some of the priorities that we put in place to achieve this 3-year goal. The mission for our new plan is that the SAIA connects and educates members, driving safety and success throughout the elevated access industry. The vision, and again, the vision is that snapshot, that picture that we want to be sitting here, again, 3 years from today and say, okay, we checked off all these boxes. The SAIA is celebrating its 55th year by hosting the North America's largest scaffolding and access convention for 800 attendees. The association has grown to 520 member organizations, 60 of which are general contractors, and 35 are international. We've also worked to expand the diversity of our membership. The SAIA provides the most up-to-date, comprehensive industry resources, training, and programs accessible on demand anywhere. And of course, we're going to strive to continue to be financially stable with $4 million operating budget and $2 million in reserves. We redefined the values of our organization, and we came up with excellence, education, knowledge, integrity, and safety. And we also finally put together what we're calling strategic priorities. And these are the action items that we're going to need to put into play in order to achieve that 3-year vision. The first strategic priority, and again, let me go back to, it's a lot more complicated than what you see here. And when you do get the email of the whole plan, you'll see what we're discussing. But each one of these priorities, we've actually broken down to a very lengthy, detailed outline program that has goals, responsibilities, and target completion dates. So it's going to be an active, major part of the 2 years that I'm involved with, and then leading into the following year that Matt is taking over as president. So our first key priority is brand awareness and marketing. basically focusing on membership growth. Then we get into technology, and this one is more or less broken down into two problems. We're taking the website and we're completely rehauling it. New website, hopefully much more user-friendly website, a very good tool to do the day-to-day convention, what do we call it, the attention or the convention sign-ups, and also a big resource app for all of your materials that we're working on. Following up to the website is that we hope to contract with someone to actually have a mobile app that we can use as well, that will have all of our resources and direct accessibility to all of the information that the counselors are putting out and we already have in our library. The third strategic priority is our member development. One of the things that we looked at is if we're going to achieve all these different goals, we need to identify, increase, and educate volunteer members. And then again, our last strategic priority is what we're calling workforce development, and that's the training aspect of it, expanding training and developing new programs. So we presented this plan in our board of directors meeting. We did receive approval, so we'll be moving forward on this plan. And again, it's going to be a major portion of my agenda, and we hope and we'll be soliciting assistance from everybody in this room. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Next, we'll have the treasurer's update with Matt Morgan.
Is this on? Is it on?
You just got to talk.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Why do I get the one that doesn't work? All right, can you hear me now?
There you go.
All right. So currently for the 2024 budget, we were set at 2.6 million. To date, we're at 1.6. We still do have a couple larger payments like the convention expenses, and that will be coming through. But we're currently on budget for 2024. And then we also have about 1.6 million in reserves, as well as 875 kind of in our floating cash account. So we are going to be moving more funds from that as well into reserves. But to date, we currently have not had to touch any of our reserves. So we're looking strong. And then for 2025, we've currently set our budget at 2.7 million with 2.75 in expenses. That will give us a net of 19,000 for 2025. But Mr. Frank Freach would like to get 50,000 added to the budget for the SSFI, which would then put us at a negative 30,000 for 2025. But we have stemmed from our cash flow and we'll be covered, and we still won't need to tap into our reserves. And then for our 2023 audit, we still haven't gotten that back, so there's nothing to report on that. So as soon as we get that, we can, further report on that. So, but as of right now, we're on budget and we're looking good for 2025.
Thank you, Matt. Next, we're going for the headquarters update. Deanna Martin with ANSI.
Good morning, everyone. For those I have not personally met, my name is Deanna Martin. I'm the Executive Director of the SIA. And before I begin on an ANSI update, I'd like to get a shout out to my team. You've seen these ladies run around all week. They have just been amazing. So Jackie Davis, Christina Reed, outside Amy Westerman, Paige Devosha, and Tabitha Eddy. So big up shout out to them. And then for an ANSI update. So the A11 did meet on Monday this week, the A11 main committee. They did vote in a couple new members. They right now there's some work going on at committee week for the A11.3 and the .4 and the .1. And the ballot that's going on right now is for the A11.5. For those of you guys that don't know about A11, it is the testing and rating for scaffold and shoring and forming components. So if you're interested in joining, definitely reach out to me. For A92, which is our Mobile Elevating Work Platforms Committee, their annual meeting will be held next week in Las Vegas. So I apologize for anybody in this room that is also having to go straight to Vegas after this meeting. We are switching our schedule back around, so hopefully they don't overlap anymore. But for next week, all of the A92 subcommittees do have working meetings through the first 3 days, and then their main committee will be on Thursday, October 10th. And exciting things going on, a lot of revisions within Nancy. We also still sit as a member of A10 and A14. Tracy is the representative of A10 for SIA, and then we have Alan Klein for A14. So if you guys have any questions on Nancy, please don't hesitate to ask me.
Thank you, Deanna. Next is Christina Reed with membership.
Hello. Hey, thank you. All right, so quick update for everybody. This year for 2024, we have a 95% retention rate for membership. So thank you all for your continued support. We definitely could not do it without you guys. For 2024 this year, we have 51 new members this year. We have billed 431 member companies, and I have sent out your membership dues as of October 1st, so those should be in your inboxes, and please get them to us by December 31st. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. And then we are back to Deanna with future meetings.
Okay, so if you guys, we did open up committee week. That date is February 4th through the 7th, A11's on the 3rd. But we'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina. Registration's open. We encourage you to go out there, register, and definitely book your hotel room so we don't sell out. The other thing, that is a working meeting for our council, so whoever's first timer or new member in this room, that is where the work gets done. We definitely want you guys to come, volunteer, voice your opinion. This is your resources for the industry. Convention will be August 5th through the 8th. That's going to be in Fort Worth, Texas. Sponsorships I know are open on both, and exhibitors are also open. So for sponsors and exhibitors, hit up Christina Reed, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you guys next year.
Thank you, Deanna. Next is Jackie Davis with Education and Training.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, as Christina said, she did get membership billed. Within those, we billed 111 ATIs. We had 5 new ATIs join for 2024 so far, and we have a few more in the works. We also have new content coming soon. I don't want to take too much away from the councils and committees that are getting ready to do their presentations, but I will say that our suspended scaffold content is getting ready to enter beta testing. We have an apprentice program that we've been working very hard on, and we've been working with the DOL on getting that registered with them so that we can, work towards having scaffold building recognized as an actual trade within the U.S. So that is a big project that we're working on. I would expect that will be done, I would say maybe springtime. But the CPT scaffold, that is going to be in beta testing. If you are an ATI in this room, be expecting an invitation to come sit in on that and give us your feedback. And other than that, I'm going to go ahead and end here so that I don't steal the thunder of my ATI committee and some of the other committees that have been working hard on projects.
Thank you, Jackie. Next are Alliance updates, and Chris Moody is first with the SAIAEF.
So I'll make this quick. The EF is flush with our finances of where we expected to be. We're still looking for opportunities to reinvest that money back into the association. If you have any grants or any requests, the form is on our website. Feel free to submit something and we will definitely review it, and that is about all we have right now.
Thank you, Chris.
Wow.
Next is, on the agenda is the OSHA update, but we are going to skip that. There will be an article in the magazine, and it will cover everything that we recently went over at the OSHA Alliance Roundtable in Washington, D.C. And then next we have Rick McKinley with the AAC.
want me to throw it at you?
Rick is always thorough. He's always thorough.
All right, good morning. The AAC hosted their annual general membership meeting in early June, where a new board of directors was sworn in for the 2024 to 2026 term. To build on and continue with the momentum that has been gained over the last few years, as well as to have more hands to delegate to, the board was expanded to the maximum allowable 15 members, bringing in new faces, new insights, and new energy from several of our Canadian provinces, including Alberta, Ontario, and the Maritimes. More recently, the new board of directors swore in the executive for the same 2024 to 2026 period, effectively extending the terms of the current president and current treasurer accordingly. The association does have a number of initiatives that continue to be worked on. The recently updated codes of safe practice have been uploaded onto the AAC's website with an all-electronic distribution plan that's currently in process. The creation, publication, and promotion of a mass climbing work platform duty of care document, which will be very similar to the document that's currently on offer by the SAIA. Very recently, the AAC offered up a letter of support and committed to making resources available towards the development and refinement of the second generation of an advanced reality, augmented reality, and artificial intelligence-based scaffold training program. This program has a triple-pronged goal of supplementing existing training programs with the new technology, the programs and the techniques with the new technology, improving the effectiveness of worker safety training, making it easier for retention or to easily go back and revisit some of the micro modules, as well as I think incredibly importantly, attracting the younger generation into our field with the new interface and the new technology. And finally, the AAC is also planning for the fall general membership meeting, which is going to be taking place in early December. So, thanks.
Thank you, Rick. Next, we'll have Deanna Martin with the IPATH update.
So our alliance with IPATH remains strong. We do offer their courses for MEWP and MCWP. And then this year, we're also supporting each other in these meetings by promoting each other's events. So IPATH has helped us out tremendously, especially with the access side, the mobile elevating work platform. With Tony Grote, he just couldn't make it today because, again, he'll be at A92 next week.
Thank you, Deanna. On to the council and committee updates, and first is Stephanie Bayard with the Ambassador Committee.
It's working? Yes. Okay, so we had the ambassador reception on Tuesday night, and it went really great with every council had their table, and every new member was able to go around and talk with everybody. So I think it was a great evening. That's it.
Thank you, Stephanie. Then we are back to Rick McKinley with the Canadian Council.
All right. Before we go on, I just wanted to know if we wanted to hear from Sean and our ATI committee, or did he get put on a timeout? Oh, you're in after suspended? Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't overlooked, Sean. Yeah, I know. Okay, Canadian Council update. Our side-by-side analysis document had been submitted to R&R for their review and input earlier in the summer. I understand that it's currently with Mr. Dave Glabe, and he's going through it and will provide us some good input. Once we've received that and we've implemented those suggestions from R&R, we will be planning to have a follow-up discussion with the SAIA leadership so that we can together come up with the best publication strategy for when the tool's ready to be rolled out into the field and into the industry. We're expecting that that's going to obviously be sometime after this week. As a next activity, the council is looking at the existing resources that are on offer from other councils with the aim to make recommendations to either Canadianize or make universally applicable the current documents and tools. that each of the council has put out. So the Canadian Council expects that we'll be resuming our periodic regular virtual meetings shortly after convention to begin the daunting process of dividing and conquering. Due to the sheer volume of the current codes of safe practices, tip sheets, procedures, guides, tech bulletins, checklists, and whatnot, our plan is going to be to eat that elephant one bite at a time. So, thanks.
Thank you, Rick. Next up is the Construction Hoist Council, Eric Schmidt.
Thank you. Our current project is reviewing documents, updating documents on the council webpage on the SAIA website. At this time also, we're looking for input from anyone working in the construction hoist industry for ideas of new content that needs to be added. A lot of the documents are old, need to be updated, and there's also some tip sheets and best practices that probably need to be added as we've gone through some of the updates on ANSI 810.4 and 810.5. So that's kind of where we're at. We're going to be adding to our webpage. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Next is Fall Protection Council, Becky Danielson.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so update on the Fall Protection Council. Quite a bit coming up. So ANSI just published the new vertical lifeline standards. So in the next few months, you'll see a webinar come out for that. So we'll kind of get everybody updated on that as well. So that's ANSI Z359.15. We are starting to have quarterly calls. So if you are interested in joining or jumping on, all of you snoopers from the other councils that jumped on the last one, you're more than welcome to join again. So just let Jackie know if you want to join in on that as well. We are also looking at the second half of next year, looking at doing some regional events. So some kind of hands-on activities that kind of deal with the fall protection and the questions we keep getting asked. So anybody that is excited about that or wants to talk more about it, please let us know. And on other exciting news, as Jackie kind of said, we'll give it to the council to talk about. We are going to be doing some really cool activities at World of Concrete right after the day after the scaffold competition. So we're hoping that you can come join us. On Wednesday afternoon, we're going to be doing some rescue demonstrations. So that'll be kind of fun to watch and be part of. Trekker Group is going to help us out by building the scaffolding and doing some rescue demos along with myself and others. Thursday morning, we're going to do, as many of you know, we did a 4-part webinar series on equipment inspection, which still continues to be the reason for incidents and fatalities in construction. We're going to be doing some hands-on activities for equipment inspection, as well as drop objects. So as part of all that, SIIA is offering a discount on the registration for the World of Concrete. So if you are interested, please see Jackie. She will get you that code for that discount. And that's all I've got.
Thank you, Becky. Next, Jackie Davis will give the International Council update.
Okay. Sam Reese was unable to join us today, but I did tell him that I would let the group know that he is looking for a co-chair. So if there's anyone that has any interest in being the co-chair of our International Council, please let us know, and we'll get things in the work there. We are also looking for ideas, projects, anything like that that you think would be beneficial to learn about on the international side. So let us know. And that's it.
Thank you, Jackie. And then we will go with the Mass Climbing Council, Brad Kruger.
Good morning, everyone. So as far as what's been completed, we have completed the additional tip sheets that are now available online with the subsequent SAIA rebranding. Current projects are, we are updating safe use guidelines for mass climbing work platforms. This is a collaborative effort. We have several volunteers from various companies that within the mass climbing world that are volunteering, three to four volunteers that are working with Kevin O'Shea and I on this. We are also working on guidelines for risk assessments associated with transferring people from one mass climbing work platform to another, as well as transferring people from mass climbing work platforms to existing structures. Although this isn't a preferred method in the industry, we do know that this is happening. There's several risks associated with transferring people from one unit to another, as well as units to a building. There have been several incidents, accidents, and unfortunately fatalities within the industry related to these type activities. So we are working on some safe use guidelines related to helping workers better understand the hazards associated with these activities. And then lastly, we are working on a task safety analysis that crews that are either working on installing mass climbers and or performing work off mass climbers can utilize as part of a toolbox talk in the morning or coming back from lunch in the afternoon to evaluate the hazards associated with working on mass climbers and making this a part of their toolbox talk, discussing evaluating the hazards, discussing the hazards, and then of course planning to mitigate, eliminate the hazards. So those are the three projects that we're working on currently. This too is a collaborative effort. We have several volunteers, Francois being one, and I know a few others in this room. Thank you for the volunteers. If anyone else wants to volunteer on any of these projects, please feel free to get a hold of Kevin and I, and thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brad. Next, the Mobile Elevated Work Platform Council. Deanna Martin's going to give the update.
So this council is meeting next week during the A92 annual meeting. Their big project right now is working on the best practice documents. It was for aerial work platforms. They are revising it to the new suite of standards for mobile elevating work platforms, and that is in conjunction with ARA, AEM, and IPAS. So that's their big project that they're working on right now.
Thank you, Deanna. Brian Andrews is up with Permanent Installation Council.
Good morning, good morning, everybody. Bobby is working on finishing up the new article that we're going to have regarding continued stabilization. Then we've also started working on the anchor presentation and article for next year's convention. So we're actually going to be pull testing anchors at the show so everybody can see all the different types of anchors that there are out there and see what the differences are and all that good stuff with it.
Thank you, Brian. Plank and Platform Council, Keith Iwasaki.
Okay, regarding the laminated scaffold plank handbook, we finally received some feedback from R&R. We've incorporated their comments into the handbook and added some additional verbiage to hopefully reduce any potential confusion that might be in the document. That document has been re-uploaded to Asana and will be going for final review before it goes for publication. During last committee week, we started review of the solid sawn wood plank purchasing guidelines and hope to have that to R&R before next committee week so that we can start working on the engineered wood plank purchasing guidelines in Charlotte. The other thing that we'll be doing is responding to miscellaneous requests for information that end up getting pushed our way. And we're also currently updating the documents with the new SAIA branding.
Thank you, Keith. Next is Program Planning Committee with Paula Manning.
Again, we want to thank everyone for coming to our convention this year. I work hand in hand with Jackie. Let's be honest, she kind of does the heavy lifting, putting together the programs for the different sessions that you are experiencing this week. So our doors are open for next year's convention. If you have any ideas, suggestions, maybe you've heard a great speaker, have seen something on YouTube, give us a shout. You can contact me directly or Jackie or really any of the team members, but we're looking forward to another great one next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula.
Ma'am.
Next is Steve Smith with Regulatory and Review. Throw it, throw it.
That was a ball. No, she doesn't get drafted. Okay, good morning, everybody. Just a little quick update on the Review and Regulatory Committee. First of all, Jay Gordon had to step down as co-chair for personal reasons, but I'm very pleased that Jim Holcomb, who was sitting there but has moved. Anyway, Jim Holcomb is now taken on the role of co-chair, and so he's working with me to go through some of the various reviews that we have. And just for those of you that have maybe either first-timers or not been here very, very often, the purpose of the Review and Regulatory is to take all the programs from the various councils that everybody's been working on. So we take them and look at them from a content point of view, just to make sure that things haven't been missed, that we're not there aren't any conflicts within these programs, and then just also some wordsmithing as well. So that's really we're the part of the organization that looks at all those work programs and then just refines them, make sure they're good, and then sends them back to the council and ultimately for publication and sending out to all you members here. So as you've already heard, the CPT suspended program, that's really been a very, very big project, and that is probably, I think we've had a team working on it for 2 hours every week for the last 18 months, but that's finally, as Jackie said, is now in beta testing, going out to the ATIs for peer review. So we're hoping to get all that finished and be able to have that published and available to the ATIs to start training next year. And again, as Keith said, on the Planking platform, the Pocket Handbooks was reviewed, went back to the council, it's come back to R&R now for final check. And so that just shows the process that we run through. And then we have a number of other projects that have been submitted to us from suspended council and from supported council that we're in the process of reviewing at the moment. So there's a lot of projects going on, but we'll keep working on them and get them out to you so that we can make sure this industry continues to be safer than it is right now. So thanks again.
Thank you, Steve. Next is Mitch Meadows with the Shoring Council.
Thanks, Zach. Morning, everyone. So we've made some progress this year. We've had some changes as well. So I want to introduce Dan Bierlein with Breweries, the new Shoring Council co-chair. So big thanks to him and all the volunteers that have been helping out with the council. So we're continuing to work on the shoring design guidelines topics, and we're actually closing in on completing our third topic since the last convention. For those of you not familiar with the shoring design guidelines, it's essentially intended to be a comprehensive resource giving a broad overview of structural shoring topics related to the industry. And we're building on the collective knowledge of all of you guys. So we're holding monthly meetings every third Wednesday of each month to discuss and edit, review the various topics. The goal is for the document to outline best standards or best practices and industry standards and be a collectively backed document from the industry so that you can take these documents and show it to your clients or show it to your colleagues if they're looking or have questions about shoring guidance. So this year we've completed the factors of safety topic. This document outlines a brief historical account of factors of safety for shoring equipment, as well as current shoring factors of safety. We also completed best practices for column shoring, which reviews specifically picking up columns. And we typically go through a list of questions to ask, best practices, and also practices to avoid. And then we're nearly done with needle beam shoring or wall shoring, which again, we outlined best practices, questions to ask, and things to avoid. And all of these topics, we have pictures and some drawings associated with them so that the end viewer can look at it and get an understanding of what each of these topics is. And hopefully, for people who've been in the industry for a while, these are good refreshers, or for new employees or people that are just getting into the industry, they can have these documents as a general overview and guidance. That being said, I want to use this as a time for a plug for the Shoring Council. We have a bunch of great volunteers, but we're always looking for motivated individuals who want to contribute. So again, our meetings are every third Wednesday every month. Or even if you don't have a bunch of knowledge, you can definitely join and learn and share the information in your various circles. So, yep, that's all I got for the Shoring Council.
Thank you, Mitch. Next is Frank Fritsch with the SSFI Committee.
Good morning, everyone. That's a good start. The SSFI's main topic is the SSFI verification, where the manufacturers can have their material verified by SAIA and SSFI accredited engineers. After finding a kind of a common ground on where that needs to lay between the engineering and the SSFI itself, the possible costs for that review, and the liability issues, we're now at a point where we can go and have a platform online where the manufacturers can upload their test reports and then get later on verified by the engineers. That is the reason I requested money from Matt and needed to have some help to get that programmed. We're working with a company right now that gave us a first budget, and we're going to evaluate that a little further. And then hopefully we have in the year of 2032 a ready platform and get that whole thing going. No, not hopefully 2032, but within the next year. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. Next is Supported Scaffold Council, Wendy Larson.
Hi, everyone, or good morning. I'm Wendy with the Supported Council. I have two co-councils, Michael, if you want to stand up, and Dave, if you want to stand up. We've been working hard on lots of different topics and that. We've reviewed all the documents that we have on our website right now that's under the Supported Council envelope. We are working on enclosed scaffold guidelines. We are working on residential scaffolds. It's a presentation that we're trying to Americanize with help from Tom Brewer. We are working on cantilevered scaffold document and event scaffold document. We meet every second Thursday of the month. We've been doing it for a couple years now to get all these documents done. Like Mitch, I want to put a plug in there. Our next meeting is October 10th. It's every second Thursday of the month. So if anybody deals with supported scaffold or anything like that, please welcome, you can contact us to be invited on our calls. Thanks.
Thank you, Wendy. And next, we will have Jim Boudreau doing the suspended council update.
Thank you, sir. Okay, just a quick update, plus I don't want to steal a lot of thunder because other people have been talking about it already, and I know Sean is going to be talking about it shortly. So last but not least, my friend, okay? Hal couldn't make it here to this because he had a family commitment, so to let you know what we're doing, and as Steve said too, we've worked on the CPT suspended. It is done. We're going to go through it. Sean's going to cover that as well. With that being said, there's a lot of people put a lot of hours into it. The one person that hasn't been thought about was Jackie. Jackie put up with us for 2 hours for every Friday for a very long time. So thank you, Jackie. We all thank you. Okay. Jackie. Yeah. With that being said, what we're going to do is we'll start working on outrigger beam. There's been a couple of things that we've brought to our attention. It's going to be kind of like a safety tip that's going to be brought with all the manufacturers and all that as well. The suspended handbook is going to be another thing. We're going to bring it up to date, bring it digitalized, make it a little bit more user-friendly for that as well. The other thing is, of course, you're also looking at, I don't remember my notes here, the Code of Safe Practices. We found a couple of questions that were in there, so we clarified that as well. With that being said, I'm going to turn this over to Sean, because he's going to bring you up to date on where we are with the CPT program, which you're going to like. I'm going to tell you that, okay? Oh, I'm still throwing it.
There's no way I'm going to be able to catch anything right now other than a cold. Good morning, everybody. My co-chair, Frank O'Malley, over there, he's the, well, Jackie's the driving force behind the whole thing, but Frank keeps me in line. As everybody has mentioned, the suspended course is finally done. Book, test, and the PowerPoint. Jen has it right now. She's cleaning it up. It's actually been through that process, and we're about right there. Our next step, and I mentioned this in the board meeting, I want to clarify exactly what the plan is. There's a core group of ATIs that are constantly involved in this, and so that group will set a date. We're going to make sure that everybody in the continuously active group can be present for that. That date will then be sent out to all the ATIs. Anybody who has a suspended scaffold instructor will be invited to join. It's a Zoom webinar, so there will be no interaction. It will be in teaching form. You will be taking the new suspended course for the day. You'll be able to make comments through the chat and also keep notes, and we would expect that you would send those in. All of that information will be digested. Anything that needs to be changed will be quickly changed and reviewed, and then that course will be available. And in all of that, the little blue handbook resurfaced. So we're going to bring that back to life. Frank has already gone through, done a preliminary revision. That'll be presented to the group to make sure that we didn't miss anything. Brian's working on just getting the imagery in the handbook, what little there is, to be consistified with the new book. The updates to the supported programs are in R&R right now, and they should be completed shortly. And a copy of the supported hazard awareness program is currently being Canadianized. Stole your word, Rick. I liked it. And the ATI committee will start doing monthly Zooms. Right now, it will be, as soon as I figure out what day, we'll start just discussions right now, what we need to do. But our next big project is going to be the inspector course. Okay, dead silence. But that more than likely, that's going to be the agenda for committee week. So we'll talk more in the meetings and hit the ground running at committee week. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
He gets it.
Does anyone have any questions? Anything they'd like to talk about? Okay. Then before we adjourn, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the group of people that worked on that suspended program. And I'm sorry that Harold's not here to hear it. It's Harold Giddish, Brian Andrews, Sean McDonald, Jim Boudreau, Frank O'Malley, Zach Forrester, and Dave Glabe. And thank you for your service and dedication to the association and your help to make our workforce safer. Thank you, guys. It's a lot of work. And with that, I'd like to adjourn.